Welcome to HD Nation, your guide to the best in HD content and the best in home theater gear, no matter what your budget is. I'm Patrick Norton.
And I'm Robert Heron.
Crazy week for news, especially in streaming video over the internet. So Netflix, you remember Netflix. We watch Netflix, netflix.com/TechZilla if you want to sign up for Netflix, get yourself a discount. Netflix is experimenting with a new idea, and this one came up on All Things D. First-run movies when they hit the theaters in your house. That's what Peter Kafka over at All Things D is reporting. Imagine watching the latest first-run movie at home on your HDTV when it releases in theaters. So this is not entirely a new idea. It's just that up until now, it was what, like $50,000 to have the special secret box and the encrypted satellite connection, so
like
you could pay
$500 a movie.
Yeah, $500 a movie, or like $5,000 a month. Something crazy. Rich people could get first-run movies in their $2 million home theaters. Now, Netflix content boss Ted Sarandos says, what we're trying to do for TV, the model should extend pretty nicely to movies. Meaning, why not premiere movies on Netflix the same day they're opening in theaters?
Nice.
Sounds great. There's just a couple of little hurdles, like getting the studios to basically piss off the place where they make most of their money, which is the theater operators, because big box office ticket sales, that's where the money comes. The digital distribution channel is money, but I don't think it's quite as much money as the theater ticket sales.
I also have to think, too, it's just another good option for families. Netflix is already offering content specific to children now. You can create your own channel for them. You can create your own, same thing, where you can have your own movies separate from your other family members. But this way, rather than taking the family out to the movie theater, which again, that is kind of going against the movie theaters, but if that cost has been prohibitive for a long time in your household, this might be a way then to get that content, first-run movies in the home where things are a little bit easier and hopefully far more affordable. I imagine this is an additional charge on top of your already Netflix subscription fees that you're already paying.
And that may make it more palatable to the theater chains if you got to pay Netflix an additional fee. That kind of goes against Netflix's whole model. But yeah, think about it. As a parent, not that I've been in a movie theater in 1,000 years, but it's $50 to take the family of 4 into the theater, and that's before we get anywhere near the $9 buckets of popcorn. Maybe I can get a $6 bucket of small.
Good.
The $6 bucket of small?
No, I mean just popcorn.
Popcorn?
Yeah.
You're just hungry right now.
Maybe.
Getting sad if I'm sad or glad, but check this out. Amazon's not going to release their set-top box by Christmas. Sad because, hey, I love Amazon.
Aww.
Glad because, hey, there are already way too many options for streaming content online these days. By the way, Peter Kafka, as usual, killing it at All Things D with news.
And if you don't have an HBO subscription or a relative or a friend with a home box office subscription, you can basically you can get your code. The HBO.
You told me you're like, use my mom's code.
That's what I'm saying. And she's subscribing to it. There's no way she's taking full advantage of it. Mom hooked me up. Anyway, Comcast is experimenting now with HBO Go without an HBO subscription. You can buy just the Go part of it. The new promotion will be called Internet Plus and will include a limited basic TV, that's 20 channels, plus video on demand, Comcast streaming video service, Stream Picks, 25 megabit per second broadband, and HBO Go. Now, the 12-month promotional fee or price is expected to retail in the $40 to $50 range.
And then after like 12 months, bump up to 70. But this is the first time we've ever heard any experimentation with HBO Go being decoupled from an HBO subscription.
Kinda. They're saying that, but they're still giving you the subscription, though, as far as regular TV. Anyway,
well,
I guess
yeah,
you're not
but not apparently. Well, it's do with this information as you will. You probably aren't anywhere it's going to be available, but
you have options.
I'm thinking, man, it's the beginning of the wedge to separate HBO and bring it in my future.
Now that they could do it with ESPN.
Paul, who may be the coolest dad in North America, wrote on the Revision 3 forums, I have an interesting question for you, HD Nation. For Christmas, I'm taking the family on a road trip from New York to southern Florida for a vacation. My 5 kids will be in our van for 3 days going and 3 days coming back. To keep the family from being killed on the road, I was going to buy a PS4 for the trip. Seriously cool, Dad. I'd like to set up a couple of monitors in the van so the kids can play the entire trip there and back. Power is no problem. We have inverters. Going to get games that do not require internet connectivity, but I have a hotspot plan on my phone for small time access. I need a recommendation for a couple of smaller screens that can be strapped to the back of a car seat that can plug into the PlayStation 4. Paul, you are so awesome.
Preventing possible tragedy by keeping them occupied.
Keeping the children from killing
It's a must.
themselves and then you and gnawing your liver.
I'm just thinking right off the bat, it would be nice to have at least a screen with 720p resolution, so that, especially if you're gaming with a PlayStation 4, that would be probably my main prerequisite as far as having a display for the system.
HDMI, but will you need an HDMI splitter to get the same signal on both screens from the PlayStation 4?
You would need that as well if you really want to put the same content on more than one screen at a time. That would be the cheapest way to do it.
I'm figuring there's like the front row of seats and the back row. Well, not the front row of seats in front of the driver, but the second and the third row.
I think you might need multiple PS4s in this case, though. Also, screen sizes. I mean, if you're, I don't know how big this vehicle is. It's containing 5 children, but
ratchet straps on the back of the headrest supports and a 32-inch flat panel. Boom, done.
There are lots of small displays that are like made for the headrests on seats. In this case, how about something a little bit bigger? I'm thinking like a 22-inch 1080p monitor might be cost effective.
That would be cool.
Or at least in the same price range. But if you need something even smaller than that, here's a nice 15.3-inch, basically a PC monitor, but look, you pop that stand off and you add something to it like one of these mounts, either something like that or this one's for an iPad, but you get the idea. They actually make Visa-style mounts that can then attach to the back of your headrest and hang that display right there, run power right to your inverter, run the video right back to the PS4, and you're in business. That would be one way to do it. That would give you not only a super bright picture, but a little more ruggedized for the car, the back seat of the car, and it's an LCD in a small size, so it won't be using a lot of electricity, hopefully frying your inverter. Now, if anyone in the HD Nation audience has a better idea, hey, please send us that idea at hdnation@revision3.com. I do appreciate it.
And remember to figure out how many amps something is pulling before you connect it to an inverter, and make sure you have enough, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing more sad than lighting your dashboard on fire because you were trying to pull too much amperage through the cigar lighter socket 12-volt adapter in there, formerly known as a cigarette lighter in the 70s. But usually, I mean, those are all set up to a fuse, so you're not going to really burn anything down. But there's nothing more frustrating than having all this gear set up and then not being able to use it. So start this process well in advance of the road trip, just in case you need to run some additional power into the main cabin of the vehicle. Chung, aka Wang Chung tweets at HD Nation, is there a difference between game mode and standard movie modes with all of the effects turned off?
Well, in most cases, yes. A game mode is likely disabling additional picture processing features that really aren't exposed any other way. Things like scaling and other core video processing functions. Now, in some cases, the picture presets like movie mode may disable access to other picture controls, making game mode the ideal choice really for your low lag gaming needs. I find that the picture quality with game mode is horrible, but it looks great. It looks fine though when you're dealing with a very clean digital source like a video game console, especially when it's sending out resolution that matches the display you're using. So I would like to double check this though and test it myself. So next TV I get in, I will see if I can make the movie mode see if I can get better performance out of it by making additional tweaks within the menu itself compared to just using the straight game mode, which pretty much turns everything off for you.
Yeah, that's it. You don't want to be, you don't want to be sitting there like every time you watch a movie, turning everything back on, and everything you fire up the PlayStation or the Xbox, turning everything back off. So use the game mode or create a custom mode. But
that stuff will be automated one day, and it could be done today, but it's just not quite there yet.
Yeah. Nathan tweets at HD Nation. There he is. I'm looking for a good projector in the $300 range to show movies outside. Any suggestions? Yes. Plan on using it only at night. Outdoor projection during the day requires a lot of money, thousands of dollars, and a lot of patience. Don't expect anything near 1080p unless you get a smoking deal on Craigslist. It's kind of interesting. There's one of the most popular projectors on Amazon, ViewSonic's $330 PJD 5134. You're not going to be watching Blu-rays on this because it's SVGA. It's 800 by 600. It is very old school, but it is very inexpensive. It'll do fine for DVDs. It'll do fine in a pinch. It is the most affordable new projector I think I've found.
Wii, may I recommend.
Nintendo Wii, yeah.
Perfect for that. And look at that, it says 3,000 ANSI lumens too, which, if that's anywhere accurate, that's a pretty bright system. It's a single chip DLP, so it's not going to be as bright as a 3-chip system, but it's like a tenth the price.
They claim it's 3D Blu-ray ready.
That too, it probably is. DLP is such a fast technology, the mirror flipping system.
But 800 by 600.
8 by 6 though, that's your limit. Great for DVDs, like you mentioned, and for the last gen game systems. Well, I guess Wii wasn't that long ago.
It was a long time ago.
Wii is fun on a projection screen though, if you've never tried that.
Any video game is fun on a projection screen, but while we're talking about that, think about saving a couple $100 more if you can afford it. There are a ton of $550 720p projectors, and if most of your audience is sitting from more than 10, 15 feet away, it'll look fine. It'll look fantastic, and you won't feel so bad about Blu-rays because they'll actually be in the right format. Also, be careful buying used. I love buying used stuff, but a new bulb for a projector can easily cost you $100 to $250. And don't forget to scrounge speakers. At the very least, you want a big honking set of stereo speakers. If you have 10 or 15 people, they're going to be loud because they breathe and they move and they talk and they whisper. So you want to at least have a solid set of quality stereo speakers at the front. And if you can do it, surround sound outdoors with a projection system is amazing. It is so cool. It'll freak the kids out. Scary movies with little noises coming from the back.
That's cool too. For game console stuff, if you just need straight convenience, a lot of the 720p projectors that Pat showed also incorporate basic audio too, for maybe 5 or 10 watts tops, but there is some audio there, so you don't need to find a separate set of
speakers. That's okay if you're in a conference room. That's okay if it's like you alone, listening
it's a
to
convenience
the speaker.
Option thing.
If you have a bunch of people, find a freaking set of speakers and an amplifier. If there's like 20 people outdoors, even if there's 4 people outdoors. Audio, it's more than half the picture.
Yes, you are correct.
I'm a goober. That's it for this episode of HD Nation. Please subscribe. Revision3.com/HDNation is where you can find us.
Hey, and please email us your questions, comments, or suggestions. Hey, or post them right down below. And until next time, thank you for watching.